15 years ago, I made a choice that would ultimately lead me down the path of becoming an MMO YouTube content creator. I played a simple MMO game on the school computers, and then I made some awful fan videos that very few people have ever seen. That game is still going strong, and those fan videos are still out there. And now, 15 years later, a childhood dream of mine has come true. I get to work with an MMO which I absolutely love as it launches on mobile. So, I guess it's time to reveal to you where this all began, to show you those awful fan videos, and together we'll see that the more things change, the more they stay the same. This is the first of two videos I'm going to be making on the Runescape mobile launch. This one is going to share some very personal stuff, and the next one will be an analytical dive into the mobile client itself. So, let's begin. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Hayes. I've been a gamer since I was a kid, and an MMORPG fan since an early teenager. It started back in high school. As soon as my lessons finished, me and my friends would run, literally run, down the corridors toward the computer room to try and grab a computer before the older kids did. We only had 30 minutes to play on a lunch break, and we wanted to get some gaming done. We'd all crowd round the same keyboard, playing those old Flash games or Java games together, and it was great fun, but it was quite ethereal. Once you shut down the computer, that gaming session ends and isn't saved. Once you stop playing for the day, you can't go back and carry on an adventure. And we wanted something more permanent. We wanted an adventure we could continue together. And that's when we all discovered Runescape. Over the years, my obsession made me make some incredibly embarrassing fan videos of Runescape, including live-action recreation. Very few people have ever seen these videos because I uploaded them to a separate channel which I have since nuked, but I'm going to share them with you today to show you the extent of my obsession, because now the game that I played as a kid is available on mobile, and I am as obsessed with it today as I was back then. Before we begin, consider dropping a like on the video or subscribing to the channel for more MMO stuff. Ring the bell so you get all the future notifications, and as usual, a massive thank you to all the supporters on Patreon and Twitch for keeping the channel going. More on this at the end. For now, let's begin. Full disclosure, I love RuneScape. Always have. I started playing back when it was a sprite graphic game and you still needed to use bedrolls to sleep and level up. I was obsessed with this game as a kid. I played through the transition to RuneScape 2. I even played when they removed the wilderness. I played less when they switched to the evolution of combat. But I came back swinging when they released Legacy Mode, which removed all those pesky abilities and returned the game to the click and wait system I'd grown to adore. I played old school when they released in 2007, getting my quest cape live on stream with all of you guys watching and maxing out combat. I even love the live version known as RuneScape 3. Even though it was changing, it still held a special place in my heart. I'd invested years of my life into it. I was a player moderator. Jagex actually listened to the community, and well, okay, this is where it gets embarrassing, but everyone has to start making videos somewhere, right? So let me show you where I started. Me and my friend Chris absolutely love RuneScape. We were 17 and as geeky as you could be and just obsessed with the game. So one day we found a camera and a free day. We wrote a silly RuneScape video called The 5 Stages of RuneScape Addiction, and we uploaded it to YouTube. Filmed in stunning 240p and featuring scenes such as Josh sneaks around the corner while wearing a white party hat carrying a homemade Saradomin godsword. Or Josh walks into the street wearing a homemade Slayer cape. Or Josh satires training agility by running over a tiny gap repeatedly and then does the most theatrical fall ever. Yes, this was also back when I had really short hair. Or Chris wears the Slayer cape and runs away from Josh, who's carrying an ancient staff. We did this to parody how powerful Ancient Jagex was for player killing at the time. Chris and I had a terrible camera, an unhealthy love of the game, and far too much free time, and our obsession was only growing. So when RuneScape announced its first fan convention in 2010, RuneFest, I absolutely knew I had to go. And if you go to the RuneFest 2010 video on the RuneScape YouTube channel, and you jump to a few seconds in, you might see a familiar face.
Bought a ticket as soon as it came out. I've taken 2 months to make my costume so far. It's taken ages.
But that's not all. If you jump to 1 minute and 16 seconds in, you'll see some absolutely obsessed fan dressed head to toe in full cardboard cosplay of Bandos armor and a Slayer helmet made out of a cut-up cornflake packet. That strange fan is me. I still have my Flagstaff of Festivities, an in-game cosmetic item they gave out to all the attendees of RuneFest 2010. It's probably one of my most valued online possessions. So with RuneFest 2010 out of my system, you probably thought I'd calm down with the cosplay. Nope, it got worse. Also, this isn't a prop, I actually am fishing in Lumbridge right now. When RuneFest 2011 was announced, the icon they used was a dungeoneering primal armoured warrior, and I knew what my next cosplay had to be. So if you watch the RuneFest 2011 video at 33 seconds in,
there are some really dedicated people that have shown up really early. It's been very impressive.
That costume was made of cardboard, duct taped onto BMX armour and painted with the cheapest paints I can find. I proved this because before RuneFest 2011, I made a series of YouTube videos showing exactly how I made the primal armour. They actually did quite well for my channel at the time. From RuneFest 2010 and RuneFest 2011, I was able to collect a large amount of memorabilia that I still have because it's extremely valuable to me. This top, signed by all of the Jagex moderators working at the time. This mouse mat with one of the older RuneScape logo designs, signed by all of the staff at the time, and one of my absolute pride of place collection pieces, my Return to Canifist novel, signed by both Andrew Gower, one of the original creators, and the author. I'm showing you all this because I want you to understand my deep-rooted love for this game, my genuine passion and affection for everything to do with RuneScape. And a few days ago, I received a message that would have made 20-year-old me scream with joy. And I know that because 30-year-old me did. This series of events actually happened while I was playing RuneScape 3. I got a Twitter message from the Lazy Peon, a 600,000 sub MMORPG YouTuber, saying that Jagex had approached him about working together on the launch of the RuneScape 3 mobile client, and Peon knew I was a RuneScape fan, so he'd passed my name on to them. Turns out he wasn't the only one. One of my friends who attended RuneFest 2011 with us back then now worked at Jagex, and they'd also recommended me. That guy is now Mod Shogun, who crashed a Twitch stream I was doing a few days ago and trolled me by appearing as a rare item loot beam. He then spent some time morphing between various boss monster shapes just because he can. I then had a Discord chat with Jagex and they asked me what I knew about RuneScape. I spent about half an hour explaining the entire history of Gielinor to them, and then they asked me what I knew about the mobile client. And well, the truth is, I've actually been playing the RS3 mobile beta for some months now, because I was lucky enough to be involved in the beta test. When people hear the words mobile MMO, they often assume the worst, because they think of an MMORPG designed specifically for mobile, meant to milk the mobile market, with things like time limits and excessive amounts of premium currencies and limitations on what you can or can't do. They've been asking the wrong questions. When people say, are we ever going to get a good mobile MMO, what they should have been asking is, why can't we just take one of the good MMOs that exists now and make it playable on mobile? Which is exactly what RuneScape have done. This isn't a mobile MMO in the traditional sense. It wasn't made specifically for mobile. It's not a separate entity to the full game. It is the full complete game of RuneScape 3 using the same servers as the PC players and completely cross-platform. And if you've not played RuneScape before, you don't need to choose a home world. You can switch servers instantly for free. So if you and your friend both play RuneScape, no matter where you are in the world or what world you started on, you can play together. I've already made a video called Should you play RuneScape 3 in 2021? The answer is a resounding yes. It's one of the longest running, most polished MMOs out there, and you will struggle to find any MMO content creator who hasn't at some point played RuneScape. For the adventure that captivated me as a kid to be playable on my phone with the same character, the same old clanmates, the same old friends, but now I can play it lying down on the sofa, is a childhood dream come true. I've written an audio drama based on the RuneScape quests, which features a guest appearance from the head of old school RuneScape, Mod Ash. I've made guides to bosses. I've even got the same RuneScape backpack that I used during high school. I still use it. I am still madly in love with this game. Oh, and remember Chris, the guy I made those dumb videos with 15 years ago? We're still friends. In fact, he was my first Patreon supporter. He still supports me. His name is on every video I make, and we still play RuneScape together to this day. I agreed to make 2 videos for Jagex, one about my personal experience with RuneScape, and one being a deep analytical dive into the actual client itself. That will be the next video. I agreed to do these videos if 2 non-negotiable conditions were met. The first, that I be allowed to say whatever I like, both positive and negative. I have full, complete control over the script, and they agreed to this. So I have full, complete authority to say whatever I want, so you know that I'm not lying to you. The second thing I asked for was a mug. And they promised they would deliver. So in the next video, I will show you footage of the RuneScape 3 mobile client, I will analyse its pros and cons, and we will see if Jagex can keep their promises. For now, I've got some RuneScape to play. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you again to Jagex for contacting me and working with me on this awesome launch, and to the Patreons who support the channel. You can support from only £1 a month. Check the video description for links to the RuneScape 3 mobile client launch page, the Patreon, Twitch, Twitter, and our Discord. And as always, have a great day.